Bienvenidos, amigos, and welcome back to another episode of the More Life Diaries podcast. And yes, you guessed right. This is a podcast. So there will be no B-roll, just us sitting here talking about our experience living here in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We have some very, very interesting topics to discuss. So let's get right into it.
What is More Life Diaries? Reflections of the past. Life in the moment. Manifestations of the future. This is our journey. The More Life Diaries podcast.
All right, welcome back, amigos. We hope you guys are doing really well.
We are.
It's been a couple weeks since we've done a podcast. We're aiming to kind of do it every couple of weeks and just catch you up on our lives here in Puerto Vallarta that way. We're enjoying this weather off season in Puerto Vallarta. It's been nothing but great, and it honestly hasn't rained enough for us. So we're looking for rain every single day and we're not getting that. So it's been quite hot and very humid. But let's jump right into our topic du jour, and that is theft in Puerto Vallarta during the off season. So we've been noticing quite a bit of activity on Facebook and Facebook groups and
our WhatsApp chats.
It's related to theft in Puerto Vallarta. So I don't know if this is an increase in theft or if the thieves are targeting different people because there is less tourism around. But things like break-ins, pickpocketing,
yeah.
What else?
Mostly those. Like a lot of it seems to happen in grocery stores and Walmart and that type of thing. And people let their guard down while they're shopping.
And I think in general too in Mexico, from what I've heard, even from places like Playa del Carmen, like Soriana or Walmart, is definitely a place where a lot of petty theft happens, or like stuff that someone squirts something on you when one person comes and cleans it and the other one like picks your pocket or picks your purse or whatever.
Yeah. Well, like the mustard thing or whatever, that happens like outside a lot as well. And I think that happens as well in the high season. But what we're hearing a lot of is the petty theft in supermarkets and that type of thing. And people just eventually they get to the cash register and they realize that they don't have their wallet anymore. Mm-hmm. It's a common topic right now in a lot of the chats. So it is something to keep in mind if you are here, you're coming here, when you are going to the stores, just generally anywhere, is to watch your surroundings. Don't put your purse or whatever in the car. Like just make sure that you're paying attention at all times. Just be aware.
If you're on the Malecon and someone squirts mustard on you, just make a run for it because there's no reason they should have mustard walking around. Like there's no hot dog stands around.
Don't accept help. Go clean yourself off.
Ketchup is a different story because Mexicans love to put ketchup on everything.
Not everything, like pizza. They're not Quebecois.
Oh, yeah, that's Quebecois. Sorry, Quebecois. Well, during high season, when there's an increase in Quebecois around,
there's an increase in ketchup.
There's an increase in ketchup. I'm just putting it out there. There's probably shortages of ketchup in Mexico as a whole. But yeah, I wonder if that increase in theft is an actual increase, or if like thieves are targeting people that live here longer term. So that's why it seems like an increase to us, because they're probably used to targeting tourists, and
they probably don't differentiate it. They just see a foreigner and they like do what they need to do. But because
break-ins in like houses and stuff like that, true. That's probably like they're used to like making their money just pickpocketing or breaking into short-term rental places, and there's definitely less of those occupied right now.
Well, what I heard is that it is because it is low season and that they're, it's tough times for a lot of people because they depend on tourism for money, like in a legal way money. And when it's low season, it can be kind of like a tough time for a lot of people. They're not having as much income, so they turn to different measures. So yeah, we've heard some break-ins, unfortunately, of people's homes. And it does sound in that, like one of the cases anyways, that they might have been watching because they waited for the people to leave the house so that, they didn't hurt them or there was no violence or anything scary like that. But they, kind of came in when they were out and took all their electronics and that type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's just best to, low season, a high season, just take precaution, make sure that all your goods aren't just loosely in your pockets. Just have like a little knapsack or tuck it under your shirt.
Don't carry more than you need when you're out.
Yeah, definitely don't carry all of your cash, like spread that out. Don't have most of it at home either because you get broken into. Like just take out as much as you think you'll need for that day or the next couple of days. And like fortunately for us, nothing has happened where we've gotten anything stolen or anything negative like that. But it's definitely been on the increase on Facebook groups, on WhatsApp groups as of late. So
yeah, it's just a good reminder because I think Puerto Vallarta generally is so peaceful and safe feeling that you let your guard down sometimes because you think, okay, everything's fine here, it's normal, and you don't expect anything to happen. But then you hear these stories, and in like anywhere these things happen, and yeah, just be aware of that.
And if you're a Mexican thief and you think squirting ketchup on a French Canadian will make them stop in their track, well, think again, because they're
gonna pull out a French fry and
they're gonna pull out a hot dog and have you squirt another round on there. So it's unfortunate these things happen. Puerto Vallarta is still a very touristy town, so that sort of petty theft is definitely present here. But just be careful. Internet. So you want to touch on our debacle issue?
Yes. So this is just one of these learning lessons that happen when you move to a new country. We have internet with a company called Izzy. So far, it's been great in terms of service
and speed and
everything.
Blackouts. Like we only had one blackout for a couple of hours, I'd say, since we've lived here.
But one thing that we're not used to, this is not something that's allowed in Canada, is basically they, I guess at some point sent us an email and it said, we're giving you 3 months free of this, some sort of channel. And if after the 3 months, if you don't want it, you have to call in and cancel it or we're going to start billing you. So in Canada, you would have to opt into that. You'd have to say, okay, I want to have this free trial. And then at the end of it, if I don't opt out, then I'm going to start to get charged. So this just worked in, like they opt you in without, you're like, you don't really do anything. It's like very passive on the customer's part. And if you don't opt out, then they start charging. So eventually we started noticing like, hey, why are our bills so high? Because it's actually also coincided with a time where they emailed us and said, okay, your rate's going to go up a little bit. We're like, it's a little bit more than we expected. And then we find out that we have this other channel apparently.
Yeah. And it's on the bill too. It's in part our fault because
we were just paying.
We were just paying it and we weren't really paying attention to the bill. So that definitely look at your bill and make sure on a monthly basis, because again, like it was free and then it just popped out of nowhere. But it is weird. I don't know if it's legal here, like if it's different than the US and Canada where you have to opt into something, because we went, and following up what Kathleen said, we went there to the store because it's easier for us to deal in Spanish, like in person versus the phone. And then she couldn't do anything. We had to call. So we just called there right on the spot. And then that was a whole thing. It was like a long process, probably on the phone, 30, 40 minutes for someone just to unclick a box on the other end. Like we've worked in call centers. We've worked for phone companies before.
Yeah.
Very straightforward process.
And what she said on the phone too was like something about activating it, but I actually only activated it couple weeks before we cancel it, just because I was like, well, we've been paying for this channel, so maybe I'll like look at it and see if we want to keep it. Maybe it's something we like. It really wasn't like, we don't really watch TV very much. So
hey, Izzy, no one wants it. No one wants Izzy TV. Okay, just dead the whole program and focus on, you know, internet speed. That's it.
No, I don't know.
No one wants that.
It was some channel like
Izzy TV.
no, it was called Veeks.
Oh, Veek? No, Veeks, really?
Veeks or
Oh, I don't
something.
know.
Yeah. Anyways, it was just like full on like Spanish language, like Netflix, but 100% Spanish. Which Netflix here, you already get like Spanish programming. I don't need any more. Plus, we don't really watch the TV. It's mostly the kids that want to watch movies sometimes, and they didn't have much kid stuff, so we had no use for it. And yeah, she's like, "Will you activate it?" I'm like, "I activated it 2 weeks ago,
and we
but
had been
paid
paying it for like 4 months prior to that.
Yeah, our fault, but whatever. Anyways, moral of the story is, yeah, pay attention to your bills. Actually, like read the emails that the company's sending you. Because I think for us, like when we get internet emails, like from Bell or Rogers or whatever back home, like they're usually just promo things that we ignore. So when we saw the Izzy one come in, we're like, it's probably just some promo thing, whatever, ignore it. But it was actually opting us into something. So we probably should have read that.
Yeah. Again, Izzy, no one wants it. Just assume people want to opt out. Moving on to laundry mats.
Okay, yes. So we've just seen this on a few people's YouTubes and stuff like that, other creators, about laundry mats here. So a lot of people take their laundry to get it done at the lavanderia. Usually it's very cheap. It can be like anywhere from 12 to 17 pesos per kilo. And they wash it, they dry it, they fold it. It smells great. It's a good deal. But some people are confused about, they're mixing everything in together, and then their darks have like white fluffy stuff from their towels being in it, or they don't separate the darks and the whites. And that is true. They don't separate it for you, but all you have to do is go there with 2 separate bags and like separate it yourself, or however okay, sorry, I can't talk today.
Just keep going.
However many bags you have, and just tell them it's separated, and they don't do anything. Like they don't sift through your dirty laundry. So they're just going to like dump it into the laundry machine. And that is the trick. And you can even bring your own soap, your own laundry detergent, whatever else, and they will use that. I don't think you get a discount for that, but just so you know, you can bring in your own products and they will use that if you prefer, something with less of a scent or whatever else.
Yeah, if you have sensitive skin or anything like that. The soap that they use is quite like harsh, I find, and it has a strong scent, which we don't like. But yeah, we take like some things we wash here. We have a laundry machine, and some things we take there. But yeah, it's all a matter of separating things yourselves. Beforehand. It's like, should be pretty common sense that they don't want to pick through your dirty clothes and dirty underwear. So
you're not allowed to bring your underwear to most places.
So you're dirty. I don't wear underwear, so you're my dirty shorts. And
jokes on them.
Yeah, jokes on them. I use everything as underwear. And yeah, just separate it yourself. Like it's very straightforward, and it makes a lot of sense that they wouldn't want to necessarily like sift through that.
Everyone's clothing. Yeah, the whole neighborhood's
like they're working
dirty laundry
very hard in there, and it is very hot in there as well. So otherwise we have on here flooded apartments, which is pretty common during the rainy season here. I know that our apartment, like one whole side is windows and leads to a terrace on the other side. So
and it's not very well sealed. Like it's not made to seal out or seal in anything.
And those are like most places. It's not specific to our place, but most places, even newer builds, aren't necessarily made with like good sealing. So all of the windows have large cracks in it, the ground too. So whenever it rains and the rain splashes off of something, the water gets in. So yeah, basically like one whole side of our apartment here does get a little bit flooded. Not like it's bad or you're stepping in water or it's concerning or anything, but just something to know, like if it does rain and you have furniture or you have anything close to the windows, electronics, or outlets which there shouldn't be close, like make sure to weather seal those things and pull everything off the wall or off the window side if it does rain, because it does get like pretty bad in some cases.
When it really comes down hard, like we actually have had a pretty wet floor. So it is good to know, like to pick up, your cables and anything like that. If you have, like, we often have like cables where their computer's charging or whatever other electronics, to like not leave them. I would just say not leave them on the floor anywhere just in case, but definitely not near those windows. Putting a little towel where the door is also helps just keep the water out. But it happens. It happens to us. We've heard like a few friends mention it as well. And even in like seeing other people's apartments, we notice that there's often a little like towel at that step at the door entryway just to keep the water out.
Food poisoning or stomach issues. So a few months ago, was it about a month and a half ago? Well, before then, like a lot of people, because we often eat street food, it's basically like if we're eating out, we're going to be eating street food. As you can see from our cost of living episode, like we love getting tacos. We love just picking up random stuff off the street. So yeah, a lot of people wonder, like, have you guys had any issues with eating street food, stomach issues, food poisoning? What's the other one? Revenge. Montezuma's Revenge. And we had not had any issues at all until about a month and a half ago. And it was me that got really sick. And what I ate was a club sandwich from the marina. Out of everything, the whitest food you could get from like a little gringo spot is what I got sick. So I don't know what it was. It was a club sandwich with fries. Felt fine eating it. I felt fine until about like midday. This was for brunch, I'd say. And then around like 4 or 5 o'clock, I started feeling pretty sick. And after that, it was like I was out for a couple of days with a really bad, I'd assume it was probably food poisoning, but it could have been maybe a stomach bug that I had caught. But that's literally the only thing I ate that day. And
I had the enchiladas and I felt fine.
Yeah, Kathleen had the Mexican food.
Keep it Mexican.
Felt fine. I had the white person club sandwich and almost died. So stick to Mexican food if you're coming to Mexico. That's the safe option.
But seriously, it can happen. My mom, when she came here a few months ago, got some sort of stomach bug as well. And I don't even think it was food because she hadn't eaten anything, but she rode the bus. And you can also get, like, people always are quick to blame food, but you can get stuff from just touching something, then touching your mouth, or handling money, all these types of things. So like, it's just a reminder, wash your hands, be careful, like try not to touch your face too often when you're out, because that's another very easy way to get any type of bug, right?
Yeah. And on the topic of like touching money, I've noticed that a lot of taquerias on the street, they're even if they don't have running water, like the lady that works at like the cash area will put her hand in a plastic bag to like take the money and give you back your change, and then take her hand out and like cook food or handle food. So they're very conscious of that. And
or it's like one person only that touches the money, and like they don't do anything else.
Yeah. So they're really good at being conscious of like cross-contaminating type of stuff. So that's just something that I've noticed. Like it's really good that they have that kind of system, because a lot of places on the street don't have running water, which is why in a lot of our videos or in a lot of other videos, you notice that the plates are covered in plastic. So there's like a plastic bag they put it in, and that's just so they can remove the plastic bag, throw it out, and put a new one on and put, the next order on there. If you're like me and you eat really saucy, you put a lot of sauce, the sauce gets into the plastic bag. onto the plates. I'm sorry to every taqueria that has had to deal with me and my saucy ways, but yeah, that's
It's
yeah,
life.
it's an issue.
It's life with Mark.
It's a real
There's
problem.
sauce everywhere.
Like Gringo, tax me if you want, because you're gonna need running water when I'm coming around.
Sauce and ketchup everywhere.
Yeah. God. The next topic is us moving apartments. So the time has come. We've been looking for a new place to stay. Obviously, our goal is to save as much money as possible, find the best kind of bang for your buck out here. And yeah, we've just been looking around. We've been seeing some really good prices, especially since we are in the off season right now. So we've decided to start considering moving and then going to visit new places, which has been adventurous to say the least, ups and downs alike. And you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yes, so we actually thought we found a really great place. We were already in communication with the landlord. I sent part of the deposit, and then he recently messaged saying that whoever's there now has extended their stay a couple months, so it won't be available until January, where we were hoping to leave by October. So that's kind of a bummer. So I'm waiting to get that deposit back, and that will be a to be continued. Let's see if that happens.
Yeah, and it's not a sketchy thing.
Well,
Like the guy's not sketchy at all. But yeah, we've kind of been looking around at apartments, and
there's a lot of nice stuff out there. We've been looking at places a bit farther from the water because it tends to get, significantly cheaper. And we're just looking at areas too where, we can just go across the street where there's a park or something like that for the kids, so they can have like neighborhood friends and just, more of a neighborhood vibe. Yeah. We really like Cinco, but it is kind of a downtown type feel. We live on a very busy street. Yeah. It's the kind of place once we step outside, you have to like hold the kids' hands because it's so busy all the time and you just don't want them to run out into the street or whatever. But it is just very busy. I mean, there's good parts of that we like. We like being close to the Malecon. We like being close to the beach, but
it's kind of like bittersweet.
Yeah.
I think our heart is in Cinco. It's still our favorite neighborhood. We would love to stay in Cinco, but at the same time, we'd love to explore something different. And, that might bring us back to Cinco eventually. Like we'll probably miss it a lot and then want to come back. But as much as I want to stay in Cinco, and we're looking at stuff in Cinco as well, I would like to explore something different. Yeah. And again, it's just like Cinco is very comfortable to us. It's downtown, we come from downtown Toronto, but at the same time, we just want a different vibe, see what other neighborhoods are like. There's so many great neighborhoods, and particularly the ones that attract us the most are Santa Maria, where we have shown the Santa Maria Tianguis on Saturdays, and closer to El Pitial. So we love El Pitial as well. We have a video on El Pitial. Just a nice local neighborhood. A lot of great eats. There's a lot of things to walk to. And what we love about local neighborhoods here, just neighborhoods in general, is that things are tailored to people who don't drive. So like a lot of Mexicans do not drive. They take public transportation. So Mexicans will open a business in every neighborhood to cater to the people who live in that neighborhood. So there's taquerias in every neighborhood. There's little tiendas that sell like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables.
Like each neighborhood has its own little nightlife vibe, its own little grocery store market stuff as well. So it's just interesting to be able to like experience that in a different area. Of course, Cinco has a lot of things going, and plus we're in walking distance to the Malecon and everything that's there. But we want to see some other places too.
So we've been looking mostly on Facebook Marketplace. There is a lot on there, like more than you could actually go visit. In our cost of living video, like we talked about, obviously the price of our apartment right now, a lot of comments saying it's too much. Sorry. There's some comments saying that it's too much. That is the going rate for being 1 minute from the beach and in this area. We've obviously done a lot of research as of recently. And yeah, you're basically looking, if you're not living up on the hill in Cinco, at $20,000+. There are some available for less, and that's for 2 bedrooms. We're looking for obviously 2 bedrooms. Yeah. There are some for less, but you're paying for a lot less, I'd say.
Yeah, and also to mention, like 2 bedrooms in Cinco seems to be a bit rare. You get a lot of studios and a lot of 1 bedrooms.
Yeah, a lot of really nice studios.
Yeah, really
like
nice studios.
Really nice big studios. Not even just in Cinco, in the area, and you're looking at like 10,000 pesos, 15,000 on a high end, but for 15,000 studio, you're getting like
a nice,
really,
well
really
decorated,
nice place.
Comfy looking studio. The 2 bedrooms are rare out in Cinco, and even like we saw some 2 bedrooms here where it literally is just 2 bedrooms and a kitchen. Like there's no living space, like there's just 2 bedrooms and your kitchen and a washroom. No.
They've squeezed 2
everything.
bedrooms into a studio, basically.
Yeah. So it's either, which is too small, I think, for us. We would feel like too cramped in there. The other options are way up the hill, which we saw a really nice one, and I haven't 100% ruled it out, but that hill with 2 kids and groceries, and we've done it before. I mean, it gets old very quickly. You think you're going to get in the best shape of your life, but and you might, but it is just it does make you want to stay home or just never go home.
Would you say we're looking for into our new place?
Into our new place, I mean, besides the obvious 2 bedrooms,
and like what we just talked about, like a new experience, a new type of vibe.
I'd like a nice neighborhood with lots of families. I think that's important, just because, like the kids have their friends at school and we see them quite often, but I'd like to just have friends in the area that they can play with after school. We see our school friends sometimes after school, but we have to go drive and whatnot. So it'd be nice to just be able to walk downstairs and like have friends for them there.
Like a
and
park,
we have friends
like
as well.
A park or place we frequent like regularly.
Yeah, we can make some local friends as well.
What about furniture?
Yeah, I think that's a big one, that when we're looking at places online where I'm like, there's some weird, I don't want to say weird, maybe that's not the right, some furniture is just so uncomfortable. Like I have seen a lot of these like concrete couches that are built into the foundation of the apartment, and then they just put like a cushion on it,
or like the armrest is wood.
Like,
that's really uncomfortable. There's a lot of wood, traditional Mexican furniture,
and it's pretty,
and it's really pretty, and it looks great. It's not at all comfortable. So that was one of our biggest things about the apartment we're in now. We just can't seem to get comfortable. We don't have a comfortable working space, which is important for us since we both work online, editing videos.
Yeah, that's a nice, decent table or a little like area where we can set something up where we can work.
A nice like little couch that's comfortable, that we all fit on, that we can all like snuggle on and watch TV and
movies and stuff.
Also like less noise. Like we are right off the main road here, so it is very noisy. So we're kind of looking for an opposite experience than what we're living now. Just a nice quiet place, comfortable furniture, a couple of ACs maybe. Who knows?
I think now we've gone through summer here. We're like, we definitely need AC. We like this apartment, don't get us wrong, with that we fell in love with it when we came here. It is very pretty. I just think
it's gonna suck to leave though.
It's gonna suck, but we just we're ready for something new.
And even in terms of like AC, I know a lot of people here live without AC, and it's probably dependent on
exactly where you are. Because with the place that we really liked that we visited, the one that we wanted to move into, was up on like the 4th floor or something of an apartment. And when we went up there, the breeze was delicious.
Amazing.
Like it was just like there was this cross breeze. You had like mountain views, and I felt like the air was coming straight from the mountains.
Yeah.
If you have that, like you don't need the AC as much. We don't get much of a breeze here, I think, just because of where the buildings are. And that, where
like behind us is where the hill starts. So that will cut any breeze coming from there. And then in front of us, there's a building. So we do see the ocean, but the breeze isn't necessarily coming that way. So it almost feels like, there's no breeze during the day. The only real breeze we get is when it rains, because things do cool off. So we're able to open the front door and have a nice breeze come through. But even then, like it doesn't like fully take the stuffiness out of here. So definitely something to look out for. Even if you do have AC, we prefer not to use AC, but a nice cross breeze to kind of like air things out. Other thing about apartments too that we found a little bit odd here. I don't know if this is specific to like Puerto Vallarta, if this is a cultural thing, but we find that Mexicans, like, they don't necessarily care too much to rent out their place. So like when we first moved in here, we noticed that, for many, many months, we kept looking at Facebook groups. There were places that were vacant that weren't dropping prices. Like it's almost like they're setting a price and they don't care if someone rents it or not.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you would think like in Toronto, for example, if someone's not renting your place at a certain price,
like 30 days,
you're like, I'll drop the price. And then to see if it will get taken then. But it like months and months and months, and it's like not reducing the price. I'm like, maybe like lower it. But they just don't seem
we've
to care.
seen, some of these places, and they're beautiful places, and the price isn't that bad. And they just kind of sit there vacant for quite some time. And in the case that we're dealing with right now, so like we committed to a year of rental starting October, but the person decided to extend for a couple months, which we get. Like you have the person in there already. You just kind of, it's fine. Like you're extending them a couple months, but you are losing on a year's worth of rent for a couple of months. So it's some of these decisions are a little bit odd in terms of like business decision and in terms of getting the most money secured. So it's just a little bit weird. Obviously we get it. Like you're, what would you say, honoring or not honoring, but prioritizing the person that's living in a space right away. But it is a little bit odd that you wouldn't want to like secure the most amount of money at once.
Yeah, it's weird. And even like us coming in, like we're looking for October. And if we ask somebody, okay, like, can we start the lease in October for a year? They're like, they won't commit to that. They'll be like, well, if it's still available, you can have it. And then you just kind of see those apartments still like sitting there. And then like you can see them
January, they're still sitting.
Or you can see them like really reaching out to people on different groups, like pushing the apartment. It's like, just commit to the, like, just say yes to that person that offered you a year in October. Then you don't have to do any more work. You just get that taken care of. You're done, instead of having to like chase after different people to potentially get someone like 2 weeks earlier, maybe. I mean, it's not like we're that far from October, which is crazy, but you could just agree to it and relax.
So we're still house hunting. We visited a lot of nice places. There are a lot of available options out there if you're coming within different price ranges. We've seen really, really nice unfurnished places for really good prices, like $10K.
It's tempting. Like there's been a few where I'm like, do we just buy furniture? Like at this point, would it be worth it to just, sleep on the floor for a couple weeks and then like slowly buy furniture? I mean,
we don't want to do it. Obviously, you can buy, there's a lot of used furniture.
And there's a lot of inexpensive,
apps
like,
and
again,
stuff.
the wooden furniture is very inexpensive. You just get a couple wooden bed frames for pretty cheap. And then, buy a decent mattress.
Yeah.
It'd be nice for us. But yeah, like it does. If you are coming here, especially if you're a single person and you're getting a studio, like you probably get a studio for $5K a month if you furnished it yourself. And it's not that much stuff to like take on in terms of furnishing. And most unfurnished places still include the refrigerator, the stove, and everything like that. It's just the bed and the couches and TV. It is tempting, but I guess you kind of have to know you really want to stay there.
Yeah, that's the issue. And like, we don't know that we want to stay in that specific apartment long term. So I think like once we find like a sick apartment that we're ready to like settle down in, especially when it comes down to neighborhood, like we know we love the neighborhood, the apartment's unfurnished, but we're willing to.
If we found a really nice unfurnished apartment in Cinco, not high up the hill.
In Cinco, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
So in Cinco is like the neighborhood that I'd be okay. Like we already know we love it. And, we're sad that we're going to leave. But if there was something that wasn't crazy high up the hill, and yeah, why not?
But I mean, if we furnished, like we got one of these cheap places and furnished it and we didn't like it, we could just find another cheap place in another neighborhood and bring our furnishing with us.
Yeah, like once you have the furniture, it's not bad, but it is just an added on headache to have to rent a truck or like hire a company, move everything. You don't know if the furniture fits the new spot. Like the layouts are very different for every apartment that we've been to.
And some of them are weird.
Some have weird layouts, some have weird furniture that doesn't fit the layout. So to me anyways, it's important, like if we want that certain level of comfort, to make sure that we see the space first. And I'm someone that's very visual before we invest in furniture.
Differences.
And there's also like, there's not as many furniture stores here or affordable furniture stores within, PV. There's like IKEA and stuff probably closer to Guadalajara, but yeah, it's just very limited in terms of what you can get. There is a, strong used furniture market here, but again, you really have to be picky with like what you're getting based on your space.
Yeah, and with the used stuff, you're kind of, if you want everything on the same day that you move in, like that's not going to happen with the used stuff. You have to kind of just watch and see when something pops up that you like and it works for you. But yeah, it will take time to furnish something. Yeah. Might be worth it though.
And Cinco, who knows, guys, we might stay in Cinco. You never know. And we're not opposed to it at all. Although we would love a different experience in a different neighborhood and to see, if Cinco is really it for us. We do want to like switch things up, which is sad that we'd leave, but also happy that we're getting to see and experience.
That being said, if you're out there and you have an apartment, furnished or unfurnished in Cinco, reach out to us because we're looking. If you're looking for an apartment, if you're coming here, this place will be free come October. So yeah.
And the last thing we want to mention, guys, and we have to say that the feedback on our videos is 99.9% of the time amazing. And again, we love interacting with you guys in the comment section. Reach out on Facebook, reach out on Instagram. If you want to ask questions, that's like the best way. It's hard to answer or have full conversations in the comment section on YouTube. But we want to address a little bit the people who are offended. There's people who comment sometimes that are offended on videos and turn things political that are not political whatsoever. If you're offended by any of our videos for any reason, our comment section is not the place to like be offended. I don't think that we're really political in any way. I don't think we make any offensive remarks. We're very much like support local, learn the language, embrace the culture. fit in as best as you can. And yeah, we always get like some comments out of left field that make things that aren't things political, and it's just like a little bit crazy to us. But we do understand that, of course, this is YouTube. There are keyboard warriors. We didn't get, into making YouTube videos because we have thin skin. So they don't really bother us, but it is a little bit weird that the day and age we live in, 2023, everything must turn political. Could be that we're eating tacos at a taqueria. There's a comment about, gringos eating tacos or whatever it is. It's
what are we
just like,
supposed to eat here?
yeah, it's just like we've had comments that people are offended we eat tacos.
But if we come to Mexico and don't eat Mexican food, then there would be comments about that.
Well, yeah, we've made a video about, cost of living Costco edition. And again, like a lot of people love Costco. Mexicans and foreigners love Costco. But then we get, why are you shopping at Costco and not supporting locals at local markets? We go to local markets. Why are you guys showing local markets? You guys are
you're gonna ruin
because
it.
you're gringos. You're gonna make the prices go up. So just a lot of crazy comments. All in all, like comment down below if it's an actual good comment that could, raise good topics or good discussions.
Yeah, constructive criticism.
And if you
positive
and if you throw something out there that's political, like make a recommendation, have a solution. Even if that's not a solution that like everyone agrees with, at least come up with something creative, like just a lot of random comments that the person's probably having a bad day and this is their outlet. If that's the case, maybe take on exercising, have a stressful day, do something to get that energy out that is productive, that's good for you, and that doesn't make you look crazy.
Do a 10-minute meditation. And also, if you have any urge to make comments of our children or how we raise them, they'll be deleted.
Yeah. So those don't even see the light of day. We've had one specific person make comments about the children. Nothing overly offensive, but I mean, any comments that is regarding our children with any sort of negative connotation or the way we raise them won't see the light of day. So just don't bother doing it. It just sucks for us. It sucks for you. And then you just get blocked at the end of the day. It's always the same repeated offenders that do it. So obviously you're watching the channel. You just won't get to watch it and hate on it anymore. So that's no fun for you. And that's not fun for us. And on that note, guys, thank you so much for all of the positive comments.
Yes, for
99.9%.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love
it.
You guys. We love that you're tuning in, that you're supporting us. We're on the quest to 5K by the end of the year, 5K subscribers. So if you've made it this far, hit the subscribe button. You've made it this far. Why not support us? This is our journey. More Life Diaries. Peace.